Good morning, students. Uh, it's a first chapter for you. And day before yesterday, I told you about the meaning of business, and I told you about the syllabus. Now, the first chapter is there, and that is nature and significance of business. So, at first, we should know about the meaning of business. What is business? Business is an activity to get profit. So, generally, we can classify in two definitions. The first one is traditional definition of business. So, in which we can say business is an activity to get profit by selling the goods in the market, whereas in a modern era it is quite different because lot of businessmen are available in the market and all are selling the product in the market. So that we can say business is an economic activity which is performed by the people to get profit by satisfying the need of the people. Because if the need of the people is not satisfied, then ultimately the customer don't want to purchase the product of that particular seller. That is why nowadays the definition of business is totally changed. That is the economic activity which is performed by the people to get profit by satisfying the need of the customer. Okay, so generally the business is defined or classified into two ways. After that, the business activities are defined or classified into two ways. The first one is economic activity, the another one is non-economic activity. Generally the economic activities are undertaken to get profit from the economy, and the people those are indulge in performing the economic activity will be considered as a businessman, will be as a considered as an employee and the professionals. So these three parts comes under the economic activities. So the first one is the same thing, is business. So again, the definition of business will come like business is an activity to get profit by satisfying the need of the customer. The another one is employment. Employment is an agreement between employer and employee. It is an agreement between employer and employee in which employees work for the employer, and employer will provide the compensation in return. So employer may be the owner of the firm and employees may be the worker, those are working in the organization. That is why these two important things which will comes under the employment. Or it may be a written agreement, because if a person is working for other and the another person is refusing that the person is not working for him, then ultimately the problem will arise. That is why we can say it is an it is a written agreement between employer and employee, in which employees has to work for the employer and employer has to provide them compensation in return. Another one is profession. But a profession is a type of economic activity which is started by the people after getting a specialization in a particular field. Like no one can practice as a doctor until or unless they do not have the degree of MBBS, BAMS, BUMS or BHMS. After having the degree in professionalism, then only they can work as a professional, they can work as a doctor in the economy. So these three professional activities comes under the economic activities. So another one is non-economic activity. Non-economic activity is a type of activity which is undertaken by the people to get psychological satisfaction. So generally the leading businessmen are doing a lot of charity. They are providing the fooding facility to the poor people. They are providing the free education facilities to the poor people. They are also open many hospitals to provide the free medical facilities to the poor people. So they are doing plenty of things for the social development, and whenever they are going to perform any kind of activity to get psychological satisfaction, then it will comes under the non-economic activity. Like we are performing our work at a professional place, but we are also offering prayers in mosque, in temples, in gurudwaras, in church also, to get psychological satisfaction. That is why I'm telling you people, psychological satisfaction is also very important. If a person is going to, if a person want to perform the economic activities in the best possible manner, so ultimately he has to perform the sum of non-economic activities. Okay. Now, some of the characteristics of business is also there. The first one is economic activity. Economic means the person who's going to perform the economic activity, he always want to get more profit by performing the activities. That is why it is considered as an economic activity. The another one is production and procurement. Production means conversion of raw material into finished goods. Procurement means collection of material to produce the finished products. That is why we can say business is an activity which is always related to producing finished goods for the customer, and also the product can be produced by collecting the different kind of material from the economy. For example, Bajaj Motor have the work to assemble the bike, but for assembling the bike they are getting the fiber sheet from Advic, they are getting the horn and lock from the Minda industry, they get the tires from TVS Sri Chakra, they are getting the engine from Aurangabad Electrical. So after collecting all parts of a bike, they have the work to assemble it. That is why we can say business is an activity of production and procurement. The another one is sale and exchange. Without sale and exchange, no any business activity can be performed. That is why I am telling you, okay, if a person is doing sale and exchange, then only the work can be performed in a best possible manner. So after selling and exchanging the product with each other, the product can be done. The product can be exchanged with between the seller and the customer, and the customer get lot of satisfaction by utilizing the product, and seller also get lot of profit by selling the product to the customer. The another one is dealing on regular basis. If a person is dealing on regular basis, that's mean he is performing the business on a regular basis, then only it will be considered as a business. If a person is performing any economic activity once and he is not performing that activity again, then ultimately it will not comes under the business, it will not comes under the economic activity. So that we can say the person who's going to perform the business, he has to perform all the activities on a regular basis, then only it will be considered as a business. The another one is profit earning. It is a main motive of the business to get more and more profit from the economy. If a person is getting the profit, then only the business can survive for a long period of time. Uncertainty of return means the future is uncertain, the future is unpredictable. Sometimes the customer may demand the product, sometimes the customer can refuse to purchase the product. That is why the return is very uncertain in the economic activities. The another one is element of risk. Risk is an essential part of the business. Risk may be considered the possibility of losses which may be arises in future. So we can say risk is an important part which can be reduced but cannot be eliminated. That is why I am telling you it is important. It is also considered as an important feature of business management. So students, it is all about today's session. If you have any query, you can ask on my personal number as I given you, or you just noted down the notes which I'll send you. So you should revise it well. Have a nice day.